You just breathe. Bloody hell.
Wanna help me gun it?
Shit, yes, go, Will! Back up, homies, and let go of my uncle!
We are in rural New Zealand. A troubled boy named Ricky Baker arrives in a police car. His mother left him, and only Bella agreed to take the chubby troublemaker. Social worker Paula tells Bella about Ricky's past. Disobedience, stealing, throwing rocks, kicking things, defacing property, burning things, loitering, and graffiti. Ricky has a quick look at the house, then tries to get back in the car, but Paula says he must stay. The only other option is juvenile detention. Bella's husband, Hector, soon walks in carrying a rifle and a dead boar. Bella tells Ricky he may call Hector uncle if he wants. Bella does her best to make Ricky feel welcome. She sets up his room with a toy, books, small figures, a sharp knife, and a hot water bottle. Even so, Ricky sneaks out the same night. Exhausted, he falls asleep in the bush. When he wakes up in the morning, Bella is sitting beside him. She says he only managed to run about 200 meters. She lures him back with talk of the big breakfast Hector has cooked. Hector, however, shows no interest in bonding. That night, Ricky drops the escape plan. Holding the warm bottle, he starts to feel Bella's kindness. The next day, she teaches him to shoot. They go hunting, and she kills a wild boar with a knife in seconds. When she asks Ricky to help gut it, he faints. Ricky turns 13. Bella plays a toy keyboard and sings. He joins in. Hector looks ready to lose patience. For a birthday present, Ricky receives a puppy. He names the dog Tupac. Ricky spends the whole day playing with Tupac. Later, Ricky comes home and hears Hector crying. Bella has died. Only 7 people attend her funeral. The priest gives a strange sermon, and before it ends, Hector walks out. Back at the house, Hector sharpens an axe. Ricky brings him burnt toast. Hector hands over a letter stating that Paula will come for Ricky and place him in another foster home. Ricky refuses to accept it. He suggests Hector find a new wife online or fight the police if they come. Hector tells him to face reality, and Hector plans to disappear into the forest. Ricky warns that orphanages abuse children and gets angry that Bella's ashes are in a box, but Hector reminds him Bella was the one who wanted to adopt him. That night, Ricky packs a bag, grabs a rifle, and writes a fake suicide note. In the barn, he dresses a scarecrow in his own clothes, sets it on fire, and walks away. The flames spread fast and burn the whole barn down. Ricky heads into the bush. He still loves food, so he eats all 15 sandwiches he brought. He puts his hot water bottle over the campfire to warm it, but the rubber melts and the flames go out. Hungry and clueless about hunting, he chews on dry bark, which tastes nothing like sandwiches. Soon he starts hallucinating foods because he is starving. Hector finally finds him. Ricky says he will never go back to another foster home. He dreams of returning to the city, becoming a rapper or a dealer, and going out in a blaze of glory. As they walk, Ricky learns that Hector cannot read and teases him. Hector gets angry and tries to hit Ricky, but he slips and breaks his ankle. With no one else around, Ricky helps Hector sit and rest. When Ricky needs the bathroom, Hector tells him to use a leaf as wipe and bury it. Meanwhile, Paula checks Ricky's ashes and realizes they are not human. She suspects that Ricky and Hector are still alive. Ricky builds a small camp and tries hunting. He shoots at a bird but falls down and only returns with handfuls of grass, calling it salad. Even on one leg, Hector spears a large eel, and they share it. Weeks pass. Hector heals enough to walk with a stick. Deep in the woods, they enter an empty hunting hut and see a poster on the wall. Both of them are listed as missing. People have been searching for 6 weeks, and the notice claims Hector might be unstable after Bella's death. Just then, 3 hunters walk in and recognize them. The men think Hector has kidnapped the boy. Hector tries to explain, but they refuse to listen. Ricky makes things worse by saying that Hector forced him to do gentle things with his hands so he could survive. The hunters call Hector a pervert and threaten jail. Hector snaps and fights the men. After a short struggle, Ricky fires a warning shot in the ceiling and tells them to back off. The mustached man tells Ricky to put the rifle down because Hector won't be able to hurt him anymore. Ricky fires again, and the two escape, grabbing food and gear before running into the forest. Later, Hector scolds Ricky for his sick joke. Ricky finally understands how bad his words sounded. Hector admits he already served time for manslaughter. He is sure no one will believe his side now. They agree to keep hiding in the bush. Soon, helicopters search overhead and special teams sweep the area. Ricky and Hector move cabin to cabin, taking only what they need. Ricky even learns to hunt on his own. They reach high mountain lakes and talk about Bella's kindness, how she welcomed 2 strays with no family. One day, Hector thinks he spots a rare guab bird, believed to be extinct. They have no camera to prove it. In another lonely hut, they find a ranger who is barely alive. They realize someone has to go and get help to save the injured ranger. Ricky volunteers. After walking through the thick forest, he finally reaches open land and spots a beautiful girl riding a horse. He's stunned by her. She offers him a ride to her home, and they head off together. Her name is Kahoo. When they get to her house, she calmly calls the police to report the sick man in the hut. Then she turns to Ricky and tells him to relax. She knows who he is. She's seen him in the newspapers. In person, she says, he looks thinner. Ricky is instantly charmed by her. Soon, Kahoo's father comes into the kitchen and is thrilled to see Ricky. He snaps a bunch of selfies with him and calls him a real man. He wishes Ricky and his uncle good luck. Kahoo invites Ricky and Hector to stay with them. That night, Ricky opens up about his past. He never met his father, and his mom left him. The only thing he has left of her is a torn photo. He falls asleep in their home, but when he wakes up the next morning, he tells them he has to go back right away. Kahoo takes him back, and as they approach the hut, Ricky sees a large group of officers in tactical gear. The social worker, Paula, is there too. She's yelling at the sick man, demanding to know where Ricky and Hector are. Ricky knows he has to act quickly and find Hector fast. By now, the manhunt has lasted 4 months. Because of how long they've survived and the bond they've built, the public now sees Ricky and Hector as heroes, like 2 versions of Rambo. There's even a $10,000 reward for catching them, but only alive, not dead. One day, Paula spots Ricky across a cliff. She tells him to surrender, promising that she will never stop hunting him. Ricky shouts back that he'll never stop running. Paula tries to bribe him with chocolate-covered nuts. She says if Ricky claims Hector kidnapped him, he'll never be sent back to foster care. But Ricky refuses to betray Hector and continues on his way. Eventually, Ricky finds Hector again. Soon after, they run into the same group of hunters they met before. Once again, they take their supplies and all their guns. Hector tells Ricky maybe it's time to go back, but Ricky says he's better off living wild, like a gangster. Then their dogs sniff out a massive wild boar. To protect his dog, Zag, Hector rushes in with a knife, but the boar is too strong and nearly kills him. Ricky quickly fires and shoots the boar in the head, saving Hector's life. Sadly, Zag is badly hurt. Hector has no choice but to end his suffering. They bury Zag and say goodbye. Afterwards, Ricky gives Hector Bella's ashes, which he had been carrying in his bag the whole time. Hector gently scatters them near a waterfall, just like she would have wanted. Winter arrives, and the search becomes even more intense. The hunters, the social worker, and special forces are all closing in. At one point, Ricky and Hector have to hide in the rocks, just like the characters from The Lord of the Rings. They eventually run into a strange man hiding in the forest. He says his name is Psycho Sam. Sam takes them to his odd little cabin. He's been hiding out for 15 years because he hates filling out government forms. He wears kitchen tools on his head to block government signals and even tries cooking with wool. By this time, everyone still thinks Hector is a criminal. And after robbing the hunters yet again, Hector and Ricky are labeled as threats to society once more. But deep in the woods, with Psycho Sam, they're safe for now. They soon notice the search team closing in on Psycho Sam's cabin. Sam shows Ricky and Hector a tunnel he's been digging that leads to a hidden room, but it turns out he never finished it. With no other option, Sam decides he'll play dead. Still, he has a backup plan. A pickup truck hidden under a tarp behind the cabin. To buy the two sometime, Sam promises to distract the police. But when the moment comes, he just crouches down and pretends to be a bush. Ricky and Hector jump in the truck and drive off, but they're now being chased by dozens of police cars, helicopters, and even a military vehicle. Paula, the social worker, shouts through a megaphone, demanding they stop and surrender. The road ahead is blocked by the army, so Ricky makes a sharp turn and drives back the other way, hoping to disappear into the bush again. Hector begs him to stop, but Ricky crashes through a fence and ends up in a junkyard. They're surrounded by special forces. Hector tells Ricky to give up, but instead, Ricky fires a shot into the air and starts yelling that Hector did something terrible to him. Fed up and heartbroken, Hector walks away, ready to turn himself in. That's when Ricky points the gun at him, refusing to let him go. He reminds Hector that they're family now. In the heat of the moment, Ricky accidentally pulls the trigger and shoots Hector in the butt. Both of them are arrested, and their wild journey finally comes to an end. At court, People speak up to explain what really happened. In the end, Ricky is taken in by Kahoo and her father. They prepare a room for him and even place a hot water bottle on the bed, just like Bella used to do. After serving some time, Hector is released and sent to a rehabilitation center. One day, Ricky visits him, bringing along his dog Tupac. Hector asks if he's doing okay, and Ricky says yes. He also starts asking all kinds of questions about prison, if Hector got into any fights, if he stabbed anyone. Then Ricky apologizes for all the trouble he caused, burning down the barn, saying bad things about Hector, and shooting him. He admits he got a bit carried away and that playing outlaw was just too much fun. Ricky invites Hector to come live with him and help out on the farm. Hector says life in the rehab center is dull, so he agrees, and just like that, their story comes to a close.